Good afternoon. This is the British Broadcasting thing. We bring you grave news from the Western Front as
Mummy?
the new soldiers moving.
Mummy? Are you my
What's that?
mummy? Mummy? Coming to get you. Coming to find you. Mummy? Mummy?
Can
Mummy?
you stop now? That was weird. The phone wasn't even plugged in. Never mind. Anyway, welcome back to Out of 10. I'm Winston, and with me is Neville.
Hello.
Say
Hi.
hello. Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, nice to see you. Was that you on the line? Was that you talking just then?
Sorry, I didn't have a clue what you were talking about.
Did what come over me? Oh man! And today, I'm extremely excited because we are about to witness the entrance of Mr. Stephen Moffat into the televised
Grand Moff Stephen.
Grand Moff. Yeah, exactly. That's really good. Into the I was going to say the televised Doctor Who universe, because he did actually do stuff before then, didn't he?
Yeah,
He'd written like books or comics or something.
He had done a TV Doctor Who thing before for Red Nose Day, hadn't he? The
was that? Of course, that was him.
Yeah,
Curse of Fatal Death, which is amazing,
and it plays to his comedy writing.
Absolutely,
stuff that he used to do. I mean, and the comedy from Moffat is something that will continue to be his strength.
Amazing performances by Richard E. Grant and Rowan Atkinson.
Oh yeah,
it's whoever the guy is who plays Elliot Carver
and Hugh Grant's in
James Bond. And Hugh Grant, yeah.
Oh, Elliot Carver, that's Jonathan Price. But yeah,
Jonathan Price.
He smashes it. He plays the Master, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's great.
Absolutely brilliant.
So yeah.
Anyway, we're going to watch The Empty Child, which is the first of a two-parter, and I've run out of things to say because there's not much to say about this episode initially, is there?
What to say like beforehand, apart from the fact that it's by Stephen.
It's going to introduce a character of great significance to us.
Yes.
As Doctor Who fans.
Yeah.
And it's
classic villain. Let's just go.
I think the main thing we're going to end up talking about is how this kicks off Moffat's style of writing.
Yeah, probably.
That's probably what I'm going to be looking out for.
I mean,
now that he's been and gone as showrunner, we can look back on him a little bit more carefully. I would say.
I imagine we'll just probably end up talking about Moffat, won't we?
Yeah. So, I have nothing to add. No, is Mark Gatiss involved in this episode at all?
Not at all, I don't think.
Really?
No. I mean, they are mates. They're mates, but they don't. I don't think they ever wrote a Doctor Who episode together.
That's so weird.
Mm.
So they wrote Sherlock together.
Yeah. I mean, we could quickly just give a quick rundown on Moffat for people who don't know who he is. Moffat wrote some good stuff like Sherlock.
Good stuff.
And he also wrote
He's an amazing writer.
Well, one of his biggest achievements, I think, is writing Series 6, The Adventures of Tintin, the movie, and there was a series of Sherlock as well, all in 1 year. And it was all good. So
Sherlock's huge. Sherlock's like three movies per series, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's incredibly impressive. Yeah, I think we probably would both say that Moffat's best series he wrote for Doctor Who was Series 6?
No, we don't agree on that.
What do you think?
Wrong.
You think it's Series 5?
I think it's Series 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. That's fine.
As a series, it is.
Well, we just.
But anyway, the point is that Moffat is the author of some of the best episodes of the show, but he's also the author of sort of most people's frustrations with the show that have kind of left it in the point that it is now. In a way.
Well, I don't know if that's true because I think that whatever had happened, what happened now.
Yeah, I'm not blaming him as a person, but I mean, his running of the show did oversee the disillusionment of most people to the show.
Yeah.
Obviously, then the remains was picked up by Mr. Chibnall, who did not do anything good with it. But
I'm quickly looking
up. I'm not blaming Moffat for that.
I think Stephen Moffat's written the most amount of Doctor Who episodes. He wrote 40. Whereas
of any person ever?
Yeah, Russell T wrote 25, which I think is the second most.
Really?
Yeah.
Does that just mean that Russell gave out writing, to more people during his running of the show?
Moffat did more series, didn't he? He did 2 more series than T. Davies.
Did he?
Oh no, 5. No, he did 5. He did 1 more
9,
series.
10.
Sorry, but then coming with that, all the specials.
No, you're right. It is.
And
2.
also series.
It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, sorry, 10. So that's 6.
Yeah,
There's 2 more. Yeah. There's
yeah.
2
Plus
than
more
thingy.
specials and series 9. I remember like loads of that Moffat co-writes, loads of it. Like that's the season I feel like he had his hand on the most.
Makes sense. Why? That's the. Yeah. Well, that's the best one of Capaldi's.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I love it.
Easily.
And it's
Um,
what Moffat does really well as a Doctor Who writer is he brings in fantasy elements a lot more, and he also he's good at just doing the.
He's a
classic.
villain generator.
He's a villain generator. He's good at like.
He's an absolute villain. He just creates amazing villains constantly.
He thinks of like it's the Doctor Who thing where you have to pick just a normal object to make it scary, or like a normal idea, like forgetting your car keys. You know, he makes that scary. You know,
or mouse mats or Rubik's cubes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he can make or desk fans.
Yeah, he could make that terrifying.
Yeah,
you know.
God, Christ knows how, but he would.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's a big deal. He's a great guy. He's very controversial, but I think that he's one of those things that people. I understand why he's a bit controversial, but sometimes I think people are just whiny and sad people who couldn't write a better thing. So just like leave it out there. It's true. Like most people.
That went a bit far.
Well, you know. Go on. Let's go.
Point is, this is my favorite. This is my favorite sort of story of the series. So I can't wait.
Oh, is it? That's cool.
Yeah, probably. It's between this and Dalek.
Oh, do you think this is better than Parting of the Ways?
I don't think it's better. It's my favourite to watch.
Yeah, fair.
If I was trying to be objective, it probably wouldn't be the best, no.
No, it's probably fourth or third. Probably third. I don't know. Let's go.
We'll find out.
Oh. Austin.
It actually looks a bit like another TARDIS.
It's Mauve.
Mauve?
Yeah. Oh, look.
Mauve.
It's a Union Jack, and this is the episode where she meets Jack while she's wearing a Union Jack.
No, it's jumping time tracks. Get them away from us.
Is that the first time you see the time vortex on there like
Why
that?
are we chasing it?
Yeah, I think it's the first in canon seeing of the time vortex in series 1, yeah. Without it being in the, obviously, the title sequence. Oh, it's Mo.
But it's weird that, because future series of the show depict their intro sequences not as being the time vortex, necessarily. Like Capaldi's is like a bunch of cogs and shit, unless the time vortex just sort of changes every now and then.
Yeah, has a redesign every now and then. I think the difference is that I think maybe T. Davies is trying to like make you more grounded in what the series is. I don't know. It's like getting you. You know what word I'm looking for? Like what method actors do, but he's doing it with the title sequence.
Yeah, helping you immerse yourself in
there. You go. Thank you.
Yeah.
My
no
goodness.
worries. I'm here for at least one reason.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Days? Or is that just when we're out of milk?
All the species in all the universe, and it has to come out of a cow.
It's such a good point. It's such a good
Doctor
point.
is a vegan, it turns
Within a
out.
mile, anyway. And it can't have been more than a few weeks.
It's
ago,
interesting
maybe
as
more.
well. There's so much like banter in this
We were right
episode
behind it.
when
Jumping time
obviously
tracks
it's
all over the place. We're bound to
like
be a little
generally regarded as one of the
You were
scariest
right.
Doctor episodes ever.
Yeah.
That's a really
How
nice
much is a
shot.
little?
Very
The
symmetrical.
music back then sounded like the instrument that
What's the
Van
plan,
Staten
then? You
was
can do a
using
scan for
Oh,
alien tech or
in
something.
Dalek.
Rose, it hit the mid.
Oh, Christ.
Such a weird little light outside the club.
Doctor? Doctor, there's a kid up there!
Ah! Oh, we're cropping in.
A slightly blurry zoom.
Yeah. I wonder how they got that effect on the lens. To be fair, for the child's point of view, that would be quite cool to know.
It's probably just a warped piece of glass, I imagine. I don't know.
Yeah, like it's like from Penguin's eye in Arkham City.
Yes, I'm pretty sure they didn't just smash a bottle and hold it against the camera, but yeah.
It's mad, like how many good like in old movies and like stuff set in the 40s, they always make out that everyone's an amazing musician.
That guy's drum kit's really weird if you get a glance at it again. It's got like those really weird metally bits coming out of it. Look at his drum kit! Look at his drum kit!
Oh, it is weird. It's a
Look how weird it is!
That's so weird.
That's so cool.
If this was a modern day club, it would probably just be some like one guy who looks like a mess playing Ed Sheeran.
Grab everybody's attention just for a mo. Be very quick.
A mole.
Oh, there's a guy who looks like Hitler, by the way,
Might
in the
seem
shot we
like a
just saw.
stupid question.
Is that?
Yeah, he looks
Has
so
anything
much like
fallen from
Hitler.
the
I think it's meant to be like a
Well,
undercover guy.
he does look like a U-boat captain. Oh, he does look like
Yeah,
Hitler,
he
that
looks
guy!
so much like Hitler.
Oh my god! It's a comment about how we
Oh,
drinks with the enemy.
they should be laughing now. I don't know.
Yeah.
What was that?
Or maybe he's a really bad German spy.
Yeah, he's like, if I look enough like Hitler, people will ignore it.
Yeah, it's so overt, it's covert.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Go on,
it's-
Rose, use those gymnastics skills.
Yeah, no, this is one of the only other times you're like, fair. She would be able to do that.
Sorry if I said something funny.
Now, his jumper
It's not that kind of club.
looks sort of black or blue. It's hard to tell. It's quite close to being mauve, but sadly not enough. It's like a very, very dark mauve.
I love it when he goes, a balloon! Because it's one of the only times he like doesn't say his catchphrase.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's
that.
so weird.
Balloons are so exciting that not even a zombified kid can resist.
Yeah. Look at that massive balloon.
Oh my god! This looks awesome. So where are the Daleks shooting them down?
Yeah.
Maybe not this t-shirt.
The blues really make me think of World of Knock in Time. Just the colour grading in this episode.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Moffat has got the most amount of blue-looking Doctor Who ever.
Yeah,
Like his colour grading throughout, especially Matt Smith, is very blue.
I thought I'd see you here, Professor McGonagall.
One day.
Sorry, you legend.
Just one day.
Oh, this is so cool.
Don't answer.
Do you ever see that phone in Old Who?
What's that
I
about?
don't
Does
think
he ever
so.
open it? I wonder.
Well, the weird thing is here as well. Moffat is inconsistent with himself here. He says it's not a real phone, and then Matt Smith in his second ever episode
different
uses
TARDIS.
it as a okay. Thank
different
you.
TARDIS.
Yeah, you've saved it for everyone.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, because the TARDIS creates whatever the person wants. They
Don't
wanted the
answer.
phone.
Yeah, fair play. Whereas he
So
doesn't
that
want
makes
a
sense.
real phone.
Yeah.
How can it be
He wants a-
ringing?
Well, ringing.
Ringing.
He wants a different. He does have a phone. It's just a different place.
Yeah. Fair.
It's really weird that.
Oh, she disappeared. She wasn't real.
Oh.
Does this remind you of your favourite book, Ninth Doctor, The Signalman?
Oh, yeah.
I love how he answers the phone. It's so weird. It's like it's gonna burn him.
Yeah.
This is the doctor speaking.
He's so cheery.
How may I help
So
you?
awkward. Why is he so happy he's in World War II? He should be leaving straight away.
Who is this?
It's very reminding.
Oh,
him
look
of
at these
war.
little zooms and these little pans.
Yeah.
Very
Who
slight.
is this?
It makes
Build
it feel like he's
tension.
being watched.
Yes.
How
Yeah.
did you ring here? This isn't a real phone. It's not wired up to anything. It's...
So imagine having that in the middle of the night, picking up the phone and hearing that.
Rolls?
I need to do that.
Absolutely.
No, you know where
So
you
you
can
in
get
there?
the special prank number to call people when they don't know who you are. And
Oh,
that would be
no.
an awesome unknown prank call.
Yeah, good way to scar someone for life.
Yeah. Especially someone he was expecting. Oh, these guys love.
Oh.
These guys love sleeping with butchers.
It's the Fat Family. It's the Dursleys.
Yeah. To be fair, Arthur's a legend. Get this.
Middle of dinner every night. Blooming Germans, don't they eat? Don't you eat?
To be fair, Eccleston's being a bit of an Aunt Petunia looking over that wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
peering over it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a classic description they used to describe Aunt Petunia every time. Oh, this bit's always nice because the music's nice for a minute.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
like
what a nice little bit of theft
Yeah.
to warm your heart.
Well, it's okay because, you know, they eat a lot. That's what the show's trying to make you do, though.
Yeah, but that means they need more to fill them up.
It's true.
So yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Here we go.
I'm dead. He's wearing a hat because
The
he's
man
a
himself.
captain.
Jack,
Oh,
shelter.
she's got a wonderful
Funny, I
bomb.
could have got some damn
This is
city
Tomboy.
guard duty. Barrage ballooning. Must have come loose.
He's got Secret Diary of a Cool Girl installed on that.
And you RAF.
Yeah, definitely.
But you got an excellent bottom too.
There we have it. One of the best ever Doctor Who companions.
Oh, definitely, and he was a really great way to not like
Introduce it.
yeah, well, just to make he makes kind of the whole sexuality not being straight thing.
Well, he makes Russell T
Com-
Davies' progressive
kinda
view of the
cool.
universe clear,
Yes,
rather than be a traditionalist
Yeah.
sort of English thing.
and he's from the future, right? So
yeah,
as
exactly.
in Doctor Who canon, if you like Doctor Who, you then accept okay, people are like that in the future and they're cool. And you know, back in 2005, I think society was a lot more homophobic than it is now.
Well, yeah, they got gay jokes earlier in the series.
Yeah, there you go, exactly. So yeah. And
yeah, it's true.
Jack is an incredibly important character in
Yes, miss.
like popular fiction, I think, for making
Because
because he's still very masculine,
got the whole area.
and there's like a kind of traditional depiction of gay people as being very feminine in media until this point, but he is like seriously masculine, seriously cool.
He controls every situation.
Yeah, I remember at school, I was 8 when this came out, and all of my friends were talking about Jack for like weeks about how he's so cool, and everyone, if you wanted to play Doctor Who at school and act it out, everyone wanted to be Jack. And how good is that for like you know young blokes to be like, no, it's okay to be gay, you know? Especially in 2005.
Standing in the light field.
Standing in
Has
the
he been
light
listening to
field,
Juicebox?
waiting for some actress. Wow, what's she come over here?
Well, it is a traction beam, so it's actually doing that.
Yeah. It's fun because she has to put it on aeroplane mode.
I'm hanging in the sky in the middle of a German area with a Union Jack across my chest, but hey, my mobile phone's off!
This indicates non-contemporary.
Oh, this set's awesome.
His chair is way too far. Look at that.
It's so end of the world. Very steampunk as well, right?
What about you? You're not even focused.
Yeah, that's how I feel. He is the coolest man ever. I wish I was. I don't. It's weird that he can't die at this point.
He can.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant. The other way around.
Yes, it's the complete opposite.
The other thing that is incredibly iconic about the episode, obviously being the child, I really feel that this episode solidified Doctor Who as like the huge family drama that it became because of this series. Because this had the first original villain that everyone could agree was amazing, and it had a catchphrase. You know, instead of exterminate, kids would go around going, "Are you my mummy?" You know. Still today, if people who
irritating their parents,
people who don't know Doctor Who that well, get a gas mask, while they're out somewhere and they put a gas mask on, they'll all say it. It's serious.
Oh, the Doctor's a child.
Should have been evacuated to the country by now.
I was evacuated.
There was a man there.
So why'd you come back?
There was a man there. Yeah, same as
Classic.
It's better on the street.
I'm not sure if it's Marxism in action or a West End musical.
It's both.
Why'd you follow me?
Is it? What, Oliver?
What do you want?
That's why she's called Nancy, right?
A phone gets a phone call. You seem to have gone to ask.
Yeah,
I did you a favour.
because she's looking after the kids,
I told you
etc.
not to answer it, that's all I'm telling you.
Great, thanks.
And then obviously Oliver, she's a
Union
prostitute.
Jack.
I know she's not a prostitute, but she is a character who would have been looked down on in society if people knew that she'd had a child at that age.
What have I done wrong?
You took 2 slices. No glass.
I've got 2 hearts. I need more.
Yeah,
Anything
she's
else
got
before
beef
you
with
leave?
him.
Yeah, there is actually.
Oh, that's not beef. It's pork.
Something I've been
poor
looking
Mr.
for.
Chicken.
Would have fallen
Oh,
from the sky about a month ago, but not
He's
a
just
bomb.
selling
Not
porkies.
the usual kind anyway. Wouldn't have exploded. This.
Wow, the Doctor's such a great sketch artist. The fact that she recognises that amuses me to no end.
Yeah, she's like,
Oh my god, I've seen a rectangle with lines on it.
Who came round the back? Who came in the front? Did you close the door?
it looks more like just like a beetle bug or whatever it's called. You know,
It
doodle
could be a
bug.
watermelon for all we know. Yeah.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have had
Oh.
watermelon back then. So that would be terrifying.
What do you
I
mean?
have-
When do
I
you
have
think the
seen
watermelon
this
was
Forbidden
invented?
fruit. No, but it wouldn't have come over to England by then, would it?
It's never easy being the only
I've got
child
no
left in the
idea.
cold, you know.
I suppose you'd know.
He knows.
I
He
did
does know.
actually, yes.
Yes,
Oh,
and we
that's
know
so
that
sad.
because in the episode "Listen,"
Indeed. I love the girl who just sits there going, no.
oh no, she's
What's
really
the point?
cute.
It's just like a game.
They're so adorable. It's like that's it. It's just a game.
Oh, kids are so useless.
You alright?
Always Aria gas mask. It's what it says.
You mustn't let him touch you.
What happens
Throw
Classic.
fast at it.
Like him.
And what's he like?
I've got to go.
Nancy, what's he like?
The thing is, the Doctor just thinks he's like one of those kids who grows up and like his older brother gave him a knife.
It's him.
You know, it's like,
Oh god.
is this what he thinks though? It's just that, what's he gonna
Yeah.
do?
That police box you saw.
Don't let him touch her. He graffitis walls.
He's up to no good.
Yeah.
He's a very naughty boy.
He makes his own stink bombs.
Maybe he is the Messiah because he can, do anything.
The Messiah.
Oh.
Where did you
He's
get?
not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, it's so Toy Story.
Well, yeah.
Toy Story 3, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh. The thing is, this is so
Don't touch him, don't
relatable.
touch
Someone came in my house the other day and they shouldn't have. They just got in the front. And, well, they were about to come in. They didn't quite, but I felt like this.
Nobody here but us chickens.
Chickens.
Mr. Chicken!
This chicken.
The kid who plays Jamie is like, an absolute legend.
We don't actually know if that's his voice, to be fair.
Be interesting.
We never see him say. Could be like some bloke. It could be who voices the Daleks.
Oh, Nicholas Briggs.
Maybe it's him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Living in this blast. There's so much good reading to do in this episode.
It's really good set work for all the different places they go to.
Yeah.
It's not a very confined episode at all.
New.
Got lights in here.
No, actually, for a Moffat episode, no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hello?
It feels like a confined problem, though.
Let's not start that again.
To be fair.
Okay.
Oh, she's spitting.
So, who are you?
To be fair, he is
Captain Jack Harkness.
sexier than the Doctor.
133 Squadron, Royal Air Force.
Don't you agree?
American Volunteer.
I have no opinion on the matter.
Okay, he's a very
This is
sexy man.
psychic
Look at him.
paper. It tells
He's
me
got a
how
bum
you
chin,
want it to
though.
tell me.
How do you know? You sort of have a boyfriend called Mickey Smith, but you consider yourself to be footloose and
Footloose?
fancy-free.
I love that.
What
I
you use
was...
available.
Hey
And
there,
another one,
blimpy boy.
Very.
Flying through the sky so
Try and get along
fancy.
without the psychic paper.
That would be better, wouldn't it?
Very
Spock.
Spock.
It isn't. It looks nothing like Star Trek.
Yeah, it's so it's more.
It's even more messy than the Doctor's TARDIS.
It's more like Bioshock or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
It's proper cyberpunk.
Right.
Can I have a look at your hands for a moment?
Thing is, he parks himself by like a famous monument because he knows that Hitler won't bomb it because they've been given orders not to bomb certain places because he wants it for his empire.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's like, isn't it Cambridge was never bombed? Certain cities were never even bombed because.
Oh, that explains why they went for Coventry.
Time agent.
Been expecting when you guys
Absolute dreadful place.
No, not a... Shall we have a drink?
Well, it's because it's all for show, isn't it? He's not actually a real Air Force person, is he?
Yeah,
He
true.
sort of is.
No, he is. Well, in Torchwood, it's revealed where how he infiltrated the Air Force.
But he became one just so he could con people. That's the point.
Yeah. It's one of the best episodes.
Yeah.
The Captain Jack thing.
I'm standing on something.
You think this is Jack's best?
Yeah.
I think this is Jack's best performance.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The
It's too
worst,
bad,
the
though.
worst Doctor Who episode that Jack is in. Oh, it's Fugitive to Doom, and then it's Boomtown. So he's not doing too badly, is he? Like, because other than that, everything else he's in is unmissable.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's so good.
Oh, look at him.
He knows how to charm.
There's been a lot of there are a lot of male figures to challenge the Doctor's role with Rose,
throughout the entire
Adam
series. Yeah,
there.
it's been 3.
and then obviously his father has been as a
Oh,
father
4.
figure, obviously.
Yeah, Mickey as
Yeah,
well.
there's just
You know,
several.
yeah,
Obviously, I mean,
yeah.
poor Mickey.
There's
Oh.
been 4. There's been 4.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
And Jack's now finally, it's like the boss, the final boss.
Yeah.
That, the Doctor has to beat.
Absolutely.
He's so suave.
Yeah.
So
It'd
nice.
be like me going up against Zac Efron. or like Brad Pitt, like in like a wet t-shirt.
And here we enter the segment where Neville goes through all the blokes he thinks are really good looking.
They are good looking.
Can't usually find me if I don't want him to.
I know
Sorry.
has special powers.
Yeah?
And your ears because they're huge.
Matt Smith is the sexiest
Nothing.
Doctor.
What?
Oh, for God's sake, can we stop this now?
Juries have special powers too.
What are you trying to say?
Hey, there you go.
Then who might that be?
The Doctor.
What? A multi-story Doctor episode?
OMG.
How often is like does
No, it's getting a
Moffat
bit
as well?
late.
To be
Really
fair,
be getting
he
back.
used
Yeah.
the Doctor thing as like a what?
This isn't
You
business.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
This is
It's true.
champagne.
He's into the Dalek as well.
never
Yeah.
discuss business.
This is where I first heard Glenn Miller, and now I've seen the Glenn Miller cover band 3 times now.
Thank you, Stephen Moffat.
This isn't the first use of Glenn Miller in Doctor Who.
1941.
In fact, in the lost episode Sharda, the song Chattanooga
The
Choo
German
Choo
bombing
appears.
campaign.
Thank you very much.
Something else. Because I parked it.
He loves parking up.
If the agency can name the
God's
right
sake.
I can get it for you.
Oh,
But
you're
in
allowed
2
to say
hours,
that.
It's not exactly difficult finding innuendos whenever Jack's talking, is it?
In what end, though?
Yeah, alright.
That's your deadline.
I think you were talking just there.
2 hours. The
He's
ball
actually really
falls,
pissed
there'll
off
be
with
nothing
her. I
but
love that.
custom
Yeah, he's
waiting.
seriously like, come on.
Promises.
Are you
Yeah.
listening to any
No,
of
look at his
this?
face right there. He looks like an
He
absolute
thinks
idiot.
she's like, oh my god, I've landed an
Now you're
absolute
some
idiot.
kind of
Yeah.
freelancer.
Now I'm more interested in getting in there.
Talk to the doctor first.
It's okay because K9 can go in there in
Because
the
then
game.
maybe you won't want to get inside.
Hell yeah.
It's a really hard level.
Told him not to follow me. I told him it was dangerous, but he just
People don't socially distance properly in the shops.
been on his own.
What happened?
In the
Next
middle
thing
of
you know, he's got a
nowhere.
gas mask on.
Yeah.
What do you think happened?
You're amazing, the lot of you.
Oh.
Don't know what you do to Hitler. You frighten the hell out of me.
To be fair, you've actually killed more people than Hitler, which is
Off you go, then.
quite a big deal.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do.
I mean, the Doctor did it with slightly less prejudice, but yeah.
Yeah.
More like Stalin, to be honest.
Hey, look, it's the same hospital that was in World War III and that other Slovene episode. Aliens of London.
Oh.
This way they can
Is
use
it?
the same
Oh! Yeah. Did we fact check that? I actually can't remember.
show. No, we definitely haven't fact checked it.
It does look like it.
I mean, I don't
Where's
see
the
why
pig?
not. I mean, you would, wouldn't you, if you were the producers of the show, because then you could film it all together. Lighting, awesome. The
There is a lot of blue filters on it, isn't there?
yeah, so
It's
blue.
amazing.
Wait till we get to
It
go
is-
on the
actually, it
fireplace.
does look an awful-
So blue when they're in the ship. You know, like
Yeah,
he is the
true.
most blue guy ever, Moffat. Blue and orange. Kill me, kill me. You can turn it down. It's
Yeah.
fine. This
Oh,
scene really
yeah.
reminds me of World Enough in Time.
Well done for time. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, it's so Arkham Asylum. I love this.
Yeah.
The whole bit in the hospital is just killer.
It's probably the most horror the series gets, I'd say. Well, I know Unquiet Dead did actually tap into it a bit, but
The series still
This
got
is actually-
a lot
this
of
is
horror
more
elements, but
unnerving.
I mean, this two-parter is genuine horror though.
yeah.
And earlier I said it was funny, but actually it's not that funny.
Well, bits of it are.
Yeah.
It's peppered very well with bits of comedy. Which
But like,
Moffat
listen
does
to that
extremely
music.
well.
Listen to those like little xylophone, creepy little xylophones. You
Mm.
know, it's like I'm watching The Conjuring. Yay, Richard Wilson.
I've been expecting you. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Hundreds
Merlin.
of them.
Yes, I saw.
Technically, that's funny because
Why are you
the
still
Doctor
wearing
is
gas
Merlin
masks?
in Doctor
No,
Who canon.
Who are you?
Oh, God's sake.
I'm,
Yeah.
Are you the Doctor?
Dr. Constantine.
Oh, well, I'm looking for the Doctor. Leave me alone.
How's your Roman
That's
Empire
it.
going?
That means you must have been asking
Converted many
about the
people?
bomb. Anyone?
There's not enough plagues and stuff in Doctor Who.
Well, I mean, there's one beginning of next
Massive
series,
head trauma, mostly to
Damn.
the left side. Partial collapse of the chest cavity.
but you're sort of
To the
right.
There's some
Depends.
scarring on the back of the hand, and the gas mask seems to be fused to the flesh, but
Oh.
I can't see any burns.
Examine another one.
He's good. He's actually a very good Doctor, weirdly.
Well, he is staying with his patients.
Yeah.
Doctor Constantine.
I meant the
Never
Doctor.
abandoned his patients. Oh, what, the Doctor?
Yeah, he is actually doing good Doctor work, which is pretty
Examine
rare.
another.
It doesn't actually do that very much.
It's because Chris Eccleston is a competent doctor, what can we say?
This isn't possible.
No.
They've all got the same injuries.
Yes.
Exactly the same.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Identical, all of them.
You're
right
very
down to
slow.
the scar on the back of the hand.
Oh,
Oh, that's a great shot.
How did this happen? How
there's
did
been a
it
lot of
start?
good one-off shots in
That
this.
bomb drop, there was just one victim. Physical injuries
As plague.
as plague. Can you
He sounds like
explain
he sounds a lot like the Emperor.
what did you
His
say
performance.
was
Something,
the cause of
something, plague.
The head
Yeah, yeah, it's so true though.
Something, gas masks.
The
Yeah.
collapse of the chest cavity. All right.
death? They're not dead.
Join me, Doctor, and together we will rule the gas mask people.
It's all right. They're harmless. They just
No!
sort of
Sorry.
sit there.
Never.
Hardly no life signs of any kind. They just don't die.
And they've just been left here. Nobody's
Worse
doing
than
anything.
living.
I
Well,
try
one of
to
them's
make them
pregnant, that's
comfortable.
horrible.
What else is
Really?
Just you.
Yeah.
The only one here.
there? Before this
Does that mean the
Wonder Guy,
baby's
I was
got a gas
father
mask
and
as
a
well?
grandfather.
And
I
it's
don't
like-
want to
and
think
it's
about
like
that. I
the
don't want to
moment
think about that at all.
Doctor.
I'll thank you not to bring that up ever again.
I feel
I
sick.
suspect the plan is to blow up the hospital and blame it on a German bomb. Top floor.
This
Room 8.
pushes the bracket of what
That's where
Doctor
they
Who is
took the
allowed to
first
do
victim, the
so
wonderful
far.
Doctor.
I don't think there
And
is
we
a
must
single
find
moment in
Nancy
the
again.
revival
Nancy.
of
It
Doctor
was
Who
Give you nightmares like this.
What,
Yeah.
what,
She knows
that
more than
pushes
she's
what's
saying. She
acceptable
won't tell
before
me, but she-
before the watershed more than this.
Yeah.
This in New Doctor Who they wouldn't show it. They maybe would show it from the back, but
Yeah.
no. Doctor Who needs to have the balls to do stuff like this. It needs to traumatise people because
Yeah.
that's how everyone remembered this.
Yeah, this is probably the scene that most people remember.
This sort of bit where the kid puts the hand through the door.
I don't know. This is, I mean,
Oh, it's amazeballs.
it's also incredibly impressive CG.
Yeah, still looks good now. I tell you
Still
what,
looks excellent.
I honestly forgot it was CGI. You know how you commented on the CGI? Didn't even think
Yeah.
didn't even think to evaluate it.
I hate the burn marks on the side of his face.
Yeah,
Of it. That is absolutely disgusting.
it's amazing. By the way, I heard that the whole gas mask thing in this was slightly inspired by a scene in The Deadly Assassin, just shouting out, where there's a guy with a gas mask all of a sudden and it doesn't come back up.
Time agents.
Oh, classic.
And it's a real pleasure to meet you, Mr. Spock.
Is that the first mention of time agents, or was there a bit before that I missed?
Mr. Spock.
Yeah, well,
What was I supposed
Jack
to
did
say?
mention it
Don't
earlier on the
ever
roof.
Either way,
Don't
first
ever get
episode with time
tired of
agents.
Doctor
Yeah.
Who?
9 centuries
Doctor Who,
ago,
Hey, she said it. She said it
in the middle
finally.
of a London Blitz.
Oh, yes.
Justice
Vortex manipulator.
How did this happen? Does it matter? It's got nothing
It's
to
mad
do
how
with
she
this.
went along with
This
this.
started
It's
at
gone-
the bomb site.
this
It's
has
got
gone way
everything
too
to do
far.
with what kind of
Yeah.
wash.
An ambulance.
He folded way too easy.
Yeah.
He
That's what you
folded
changed through the time
so
vortex.
easily.
It's space
It's
junk. I
awful.
wanted to
He's
teach you
he's
it
pretty
was
pathetic.
valuable.
He's a criminal.
Empty.
In
Make
these
sure
in this
it's
two-part,
nothing
he's
but
very
a shell.
unlikable.
I threw
Yeah.
it at you. Saw your time travel vehicle. Love the retro look, by the way. Nice panel. Threw you the bait.
Bait.
I wanted to sell it to you, then destroy it before you found out it was junk.
You said it was a warship.
They have ambulances in wars.
So many slam dunks.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are blending in with the local color. I mean, Flag Girl was
But
bad.
you
enough.
boat captain.
Captain?
Yeah, boy. Don't tell him your name, Doctor.
Yeah.
Whatever's happening
I mean,
here
don't tell
has
him.
got
Oh yes,
nothing
I'm the doctor.
Imagine if that was the twist, and we found out he's been a U-boat this guy this whole
By
time.
an idiot.
What do you mean?
I don't know, some kind of virus. What's the point?
I'd love to just take that one scene out of context, just him being like, "What's the point?"
What's the point? Oh, they just get in the TARDIS and leave. Never mind. What's the point? Sod it.
This is. I might as well regenerate. I'm done. They keep leaking all the regenerations of what episode are going to happen in anyway, so you know what's the point? It's a bit like since coronavirus, you don't want to touch anything that's got metal on it, do you? Because it stays on
No.
the surfaces longer.
I don't know.
Or just people generally. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Oh no.
You seem remarkably calm about it.
This is another.
I love the way he tips over the chair like he's being really tough.
Yeah.
Happens if I don't trust.
Ugh.
You're looking at it.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you my mummy?
It's Nancy, your sister.
Stop lying to yourself, Nancy.
Jamie, you're dead. Mummy.
Oh,
Freud.
I was literally just about to say, we haven't mentioned that yet. What's interesting about that shot, I'll bring that later.
Oh, it's so good, all the little
Oh.
bits of that.
Oh my giddy arm.
It's quality.
It ends very abruptly.
Yeah, it's a but it's
There's very little build up to that moment. It's
but-
like basically they get pissed off with Jack and then that happens.
But then everyone's in danger though all of a sudden. I think that's the.
yeah.
Oh,
What
there's
I
no
hate-
next time.
No, thank Christ for that.
But wasn't there a next time for World War 3?
Oh no, there is a next time. It's just at the end,
Oh, is it?
which they should have done more often, if you ask me.
They should always do that. They should always give you the opportunity to stay if you want to. Oh, there is
Yeah,
a next
exactly.
time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
I don't think I've ever seen this next time ever because of where it is.
Have you not?
I don't recognise this at all. Oh,
Oh,
Volcano
really?
Day. Sorry, I'm.
Yeah,
I'm,
I think
I'll
that's.
stop
I
watching.
think that's the only. Yeah, you should. That's the only bit of the episode I remember being on the next time thing. 'Cause I was like, why the fuck is he talking about volcanoes now? This is
Yeah.
really confusing. Because it's quite a weird episode.
The next
Like,
episode is a very
like,
strange way to follow up. You know.
Well,
it's a very
but it's
Moffat
good though because
two-parter
nothing
where,
is.
like the second episode is nothing like the first one. I mean, it's the
Well,
same
no,
as in Silence in the
but that's why
Library.
it's good.
Yeah,
But that's why it's good because nothing is answered in this episode.
yeah, exactly.
It's all of the setup is in this bit.
And it takes its time, and it takes time to develop its characters.
Okay, here we go. Voice of the Empty Child is by Mr. Noah Johnson. Ever heard of him?
No, I want to see what he looks
No,
like now.
neither
though.
me.
Noah Johnson.
I don't think you're going to find it.
If you type in Noah Johnson, the first thing that comes up is Noah Johnson Doc 2.
Oh, well, I mean, I imagine that would be the most famous thing he did, considering it was probably a child at the time.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
I have no clue. Can't find
It's
it.
quite hard to impersonate that, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
So the thing I hadn't noticed. This is the first time I've ever noticed this. Is that shot at the end of the child? I didn't realise is that it shows inside and the gas mask is empty. There's no face in it.
Oh, I
Which
see.
is really, really horrible.
Yeah, it's properly uncanny.
Which makes it. So it's like a head. So it's basically a head because that is the head now, essentially, the gas mask with nothing in it. That is just absolutely horrible. I'm so glad I didn't notice that as a child because that would have shat me right up.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, very creepy, very slow paced, very considerate as an episode.
It's just very. It's very
I'd say.
classy. It doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't at any point like. It's just gonna sound like a criticism, but it's not at all.
No.
It doesn't try and keep you entertained. Like it just is. It's quite cocky. It's just like
It
yeah,
feels very period.
Yeah, it's just like yeah, you're interested by now. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying?
But
it's not
well,
fast
no,
paced.
because because it plays out like a 40s movie where everything happens very slow.
Yeah, I think because it's kind of
which makes it feel even more like it's from that period.
Because it's kind of a bit of a genre movie with also kind of like it's got a bit very noir quality to the way that they use a lot of the shadows and the lighting in the shots. I think for that reason, it kind of has a very like the Third Man feel, and for that reason, I think as a viewer, you're kind of possibly intrigued by it. It's Doctor Who doing a different genre. I mean,
it feels more serious for it.
Yeah, it feels very serious.
There's very little in the way of light-hearted relief to what goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that is kind of the same in Father's Day. After like the first 10 minutes, there's very, very little to endear you to the situation.
But even all of the humour in the first 10 minutes of Father's Day, which isn't much, is still pretty nasty humour. Like it's her talking about having sex with her dad. So.
Yeah, I mean, not explicitly, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I was surprised that you waited so long to mention Freud in this episode.
It's not. It's prevalent because it's about the. I mean, the sense of fear here comes from. It's a very primal thing, isn't it? That kind of makes the child scary, which is the fear of losing your mum.
Yeah, but also the fact that Nancy is lying to herself, claiming that it's not her son, that it's in fact her brother or something. Like she's trying to distance herself from it. I think that's quite interesting.
It is interesting.
That's not necessarily Freudian, I suppose.
That's no, it's still interesting. Like but that's like I said earlier in the watch through. It's more of like to do with the time period that she lives in, and.
But again, as it's developed on later in the two-parter, it feels very much like a very EastEnders sort of situation, but in the war by having her being the single mother.
You know, you're right.
Also, by the way, everyone
also
talks. It all feels very much like
and the shouting. People, you know, the come on it.
The Round family. Don't you eat?
Yeah, exactly. It feels very.
Get out of my pub.
Very sinister. Yeah. I don't really.
Oh, it's so great.
Normally, I have a lot of stuff to say after these watch throughs, but like this episode really speaks for itself. Like,
well, it's the most two-parter-ish episode because of what we just said. It's all set up. It's all developing mystery. No, the Doctor at all points is constantly behind the curve. He's only just about learning what's going on every time.
The audience is always purely there to witness a situation through his eyes.
Yeah, well, that's what's so great about it.
Because he's had no effect on what's happened yet.
Yeah,
he hasn't affected anything. Apart
and the way they both intersect near the end is really nicely done.
Yeah, via Jack.
It's really superb. I think the best thing about the episode, upon rewatching it, was probably the cinematography.
Yeah, I hadn't really noticed.
I thought was really also classily done, but also lots of really nice bits of close-ups and, like you say, small panning moves that make things feel uneasy in the sort of slower moments.
Yeah, to build tension.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that is very prevalent. I don't know how much influence Moffat would have had on it.
The directing.
Before he was showrunner. But obviously, once Moffat becomes showrunner, the directing does get more interesting, and especially by series 7, it's really in your face kind of interesting directing, and like he uses the kind of editing techniques that he's learned from Sherlock in order to show how the Doctor perceives a situation in the same way that he might show how Sherlock perceives a situation. If you just see episodes like Heaven Sent, Pilot, and Listen,
Pilot's got a really nice cinematography. Yeah. But I assume in writing an episode, you are by definition pretty involved in the direction.
Yeah, because you can control how in your stage directions and stuff, you can control to some extent, if you're doing it well enough, how it will turn out. Yeah. So maybe it's
I'm not surprised.
Maybe it's just to do with the way he does his stage directions. I mean,
it is nice though how this series generally has felt. Every episode has had a very different feel to it visually. Like in the long game, there were all those ridiculous amount of close-ups that we spotted, and then in Father's Day there was a lot of stuff looking through windows and from behind chairs and stuff, like from other people's perspectives. And then in this one, it also feels different again. It's quite weird, that.
Yeah.
But
I'm just looking up who the director is. He's done some Black Mirror.
I like it. So yeah, this episode does an excellent job of introducing Jack, obviously. For surprisingly little screen time, he's extremely funny, but also quite creepy. He's more creepy than I remember him being.
Well, he's not nice yet. I mean, the whole point is that the Doctor changes him and makes him a better person.
Yeah, well, he's a crook.
Yeah.
And he also
that's his arc,
really,
right?
really, yeah, sort of. But he really judges Rose as well.
Yeah.
Like he does. He genuinely does think she's a bit of a bimbo.
Oh, fully.
I mean, she hasn't, she hasn't completely proved herself to not be, but he's definitely not very nice.
He's angry.
There's a bit of him, abusing his sort of power over people to get what he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't think an awful lot. This isn't a criticism, but I don't think an awful lot is used to address that as an arc necessarily. It's more just at the end of the two-parter, he's sort of like, oh yeah, okay, I'll stop being a dick. I mean, that's fair enough. That's enough.
Well, it's mainly by I mean, the arc is kind of addressed in Parting of the Ways, where he says to the Doctor, I was a bad person, and now I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and then obviously he gets born again, and his new life gives him the opportunity to live a better life.
There you go.
Christianity.
Let's not.
God's
sake.
Yeah. Okay, so should we
to speak?
I was about to just kind of rattle on to the. I think we've kind of covered the fact that let's just talk about the villain.
Yeah,
it's an interesting villain because, like we said, it's a plague.
Physical injuries as plague is a pretty original idea. I mean, it is technically the zombie idea. You get bitten and you become a zombie, but it's a much more unsettling one because it's extremely abstract.
Yeah,
with the gas mask,
awesome.
And it has the air of something more sinister going on because it's very specific in the whole botched job that it's done. It makes you feel like there is actually someone behind it, which is what makes it more terrifying when it turns out to be all a misunderstanding, essentially, which is great.
Yeah.
And just visually speaking, I mean, I suppose it wouldn't take a genius to realise that those gas masks look a bit horrifying, but it's really clever to have used them like that, and especially at the end, showing that there's nothing inside it.
Yeah.
That absolutely. Ugh,
I mean, the
skin crawl.
The Empty Child. It's as a name. When I was a kid, I was just getting confused with An Unearthly Child. In terms of the episode of Doctor Who, it's just got a really similar name.
Ah, of course.
But I don't know.
Well, I think
that's on purpose or anything. I don't know.
There's also a thing. I know we mentioned a lot that Moffat likes to turn things in real life into into villains. I may be pushing it here, but people always find it really annoying when kids keep asking for their mums, or if they nag people, because this kid is basically nagging. He's going, "Mummy, mummy," which happens a lot, and it's making that even worse.
That's true.
Somehow.
I hadn't actually considered that element was part of the fear as well.
No, I hadn't really thought of it
because I've more just been thinking about how it's a primal want, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
about wanting your mum. But
it's now mums are no longer going to be irritated. They're going to be terrified
yeah.
when they hear that.
Okay. Who do you think
Oh, dear.
was the best actor in this that wasn't? Well, it was obviously Jack. Sorry.
Well,
but I mean,
no, for this episode, I might actually give it to Nancy.
oh, okay, because I would give it to Dr. Constantine over Nancy.
Really?
Yeah, he's killer.
Nancy's excellent.
Because he's got the best.
But Nancy's face when she sees that picture of the thing with the lines with a scribble on a page, like, you know,
Yeah,
that's some amazing acting.
It's got to be.
She
good
acted like
acting.
she'd seen hell on that post-it note. Yeah. No, I mean, Constantine's great. It's more of a cameo than a performance.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But
though.
for me, it's between Nancy and Jack.
I'll give it to Jack then. I mean,
Jack's probably going to get it in the next episode, though. So I kind of want to give Nancy some love. Not like that. You know what I meant.
I mean, Jack's gonna get it next week.
She's only like, yeah, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
She's a mother. How dare you?
You go for Nancy, and I'll go for Jack.
Good, we've covered it.
Okay, cool. We've shared it. You know, it would have been awkward if we've both gone for one of them.
What's the best scene? Because I think there are two big contenders.
Okay, I think I think there's 3. Oh well, there's loads of great scenes in this. Sorry.
I think for the absolute best scene.
Okay, for the
It's
absolute
probably
best
between
scene
the Dr. Constantine one
and the hand
the
through
kid
the door.
putting his hand through the
they're the two most iconic scenes. The third most iconic scene is when they dance next to Big Ben. That's quite iconic. Not as iconic though.
Yeah, I mean it's visually iconic. It's quite cool.
Yeah,
it's not as hard hitting as
the
bit
best
with
bit
the
of
hands going through
the hand coming
box.
through the door is classic because it's when I remember like I actually hid behind the sofa. You know, like it was. It's the first moment of this episode where you're like, oh my goodness, why am I alive? This is horrible.
And you can tell how much it hurts the Doctor to see that.
Yeah, and
it's really, really sad.
And
for
everyone
him.
to leave him alone.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, why are you doing that? Like
the little chicken.
I mean, he can't do anything to help, but he wants to stay and he wants to try. He wants to understand. I'm going to give it to the Dr. Constantine scene though. The bit where he turns into the Gasper zombie. It's absolutely unbelievable, and it's just so out of order. I can't believe they got that past censorship. I can't believe they got like for what is it's a kids program. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why it's clever because there's no gore. There's no
it's just
breaking of bones or anything.
Yeah, it's
apart
just
from some really funny sound effects.
It's just really unsettling.
It's just something can come through your throat.
Well, it is body horror.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's the best scene.
The point is, don't touch people. Generally.
Are we on to what would we rate it now? It's so weird that I don't have much to say about this. I feel like an absolute loser. I'm sorry, listeners.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with a short episode.
Especially
because everything in terms of what we can talk about plot wise is all resolved in the next episode. That's kind of the beauty of this episode.
Yeah, I guess you're
absolutely.
right.
You have to watch the next part. It's so compelling.
I want to watch it now. I can't, but I want to.
Well,
yeah.
All right, fine then.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine then. Neville, out of 10, what would you give it?
Can you go first?
I can go first. I would give this happily a 9 out of 10.
Okay, so you're giving it a 9, and
it's an unmissable classic episode.
The thing is, I mean, obviously, I think we can say that we're probably going to give the two-parter an overall 10.
Yes, we will.
But yeah, taken on its own, it's a 9, isn't it? It's just.
I think so.
It's just so iconic. It's hard.
There's so much. Yeah, there's so many iconic parts.
Taken on its own, it wasn't quite as good as Dalek or Father's Day, and because it wasn't quite as good, I can't give it a 10. So.
But that's because all of the story, beats
exactly.
haven't
I haven't had the whole thing. So yeah, I'll go 9.
Yeah,
9.
Yeah. But there's so much great stuff. Like Nancy and the kids around the table. That scene's really nice. There's so much stuff in this episode to endear you to the Doctor, as a just as a person interacting with other people, which I think is really important for how the end of the episode and end of the next episode,
it's a big,
resolves itself.
This is a big deal for him.
It makes it fully a really big deal for him.
He realizes that there is a point to being alive. He fully realizes. Yeah,
no, I mean this is like the first time where everything has gone really well.
Yeah.
Like I think through the back of the series, like he has to sacrifice. He has to sacrifice the wooden lady, and then you have to sacrifice Gwyneth, and then loads of people die in Aliens in London.
Well, like the
and
whole
stuff.
Parliament die, yeah.
Yeah, and that guy who Harriet brought a cup of coffee and whatnot.
Yeah, and the pig.
And then Dalek, pretty much everyone dies.
Yep. Good
Long
point.
Game, what's her name?
Suki.
The nice girl. Suki, the weird lady. Yeah, she dies. And Adam gets a thing in his head.
And then they have to solve the problem by killing 2 people.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Good point.
And then Father's Day, the obvious.
The obvious
yeah,
dies.
So,
but it's the fact of the reason that's sad is because it's inevitable as well.
but this feels, even though doesn't feel as angry as Dalek or as sort of sorrowful as Father's Day, it feels more scary and more sort of what's the word, gloomy.
Yeah, well,
Which is a really nice juxtaposition.
it's really
for
weird
how it plays out.
watching this. It really felt like this episode feels more standalone than anything else we've seen in the series. Apart from the introduction of Jack, this first part doesn't feel like it does anything that is meant to be important for the whole series. But of course, it does.
Stephen
in terms
Moffat.
It feels so standalone.
It's this is, but I think I could be wrong. But I feel like that effect that you described will happen in every Moffat standalone episode in the T. Davis era.
It's true.
It happens with Girl in the Fireplace. It definitely happens with Blink, and it to a slightly lesser extent, but it does happen in Silence of the Library. That feels like a massive detour.
I mean,
from what's going on.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. This episode does feel the purpose of, like you said about it's a big moment for the Doctor as a character by the end of the second part. But
it's very. It's also tonally consistent.
Yeah.
With the back of Father's Day.
Yeah, but I feel like you could show this to someone who hadn't seen Series 1 on its own, and it wouldn't ruin anything.
No, not at all. Yeah, you're completely right.
So
it's a very good point. Yeah,
mad, isn't it?
Well, it has like we said, it has that movie vibe because of all the noir to it and the sort of kind of funny cinematography and very good performances. So that makes sense.
And it's got a very, very present use of music.
Yes, true. Oh,
so yeah, 9.
Woohoo.
When I feel Doctor
Noin,
Who,
as they say in German.
Woohoo, Doctor Who.
This has been Outta 10. Thank you so much for listening, and quite frankly, I'm as shocked as you are that we're still doing this. If, by some miracle, you've enjoyed this, do leave a comment, or give a suggestion for what we should talk about next. You can also find us on Twitter at Outta_10, or send us an email to Outta10podcast@gmail.com. We hope you can join us for our next review of Doctor Who, and do keep an eye out for some film and music discussions coming up in the following weeks. See you soon.
Oh, it'd be cool. You know how to get face masks? If instead of us having to get face masks, we just got a gas mask. I was saying, like, you could get a Bane mask.
For God's sake.
Yeah, no, that'd be so cool, though.
Well, it would certainly look cooler than having a massive gas mask on your face.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Asking people if they're your mummy.
Yeah, instead I could be
They
like...
would probably get away from you in the shops. It'd be
You
really
merely
easy.
adopted coronavirus. I was born in it.
Ugh, that's disgusting.
It's very sad.
So you were a bat. Oh, that makes so much sense. Anyway.